All right, welcome everyone to the IWM Broadcast Network of the SuperSpeedway Kings Invitational tonight. I'm Rick Souza here with Noah Evans. Well, he is not here at the moment, but he will be. iRacing released a massive update today with all kinds of changes and fixes, but more importantly, they dropped in a newly revitalized, engineered, designed replica of the ARCA cars, and that's what we have for you tonight. So if you're used to seeing Speedway Kings with ARCA with trucks, well, tonight's a completely different animal. On top of that, this Invitational has brought out some of the best that iRacing has to offer. So we've got some tremendous guys. As you're watching now, a massive group of cars making their way out on the track to just see what drafting with these cars is like. Because, folks, this is brand new. These cars were just released today. So new aero, new layout, new design, the most current design of the ARCA car here on the iRacing platform. So these drivers, they're not really sure what they've got. They may have had a few hours earlier today to play with, but it's all new. So you're going to wind up with a lot of new drivers. We have got, let me just double check here. $31 current cars entries in tonight's race. Lots of notable names here tonight. Just going down from the top here, you've got Malik Ray, you've got Kyler Wynn, Steve Korosak, Jimmy Reynolds, Gabe Butler, Buddy Waters, you've got John Hall, Dylan Alt, Cody Nagels as well, Alex Hill, Sebastian Marin with Team Dale Cup. I mean, there are some big names here. And Ryan Doucette, I can't wait to see what this looks like. These are just some tremendous guys here within the iRacing community that have come out, taken this opportunity with Jimmy Crow has put out this invitation, and man, I can't wait to get this underway. So as soon as we wait for Noah Evans, my broadcast partner, to get in, we'll kind of go through what we see. There's only 5 minutes left of practice, and then we'll get into qualifying and then on with our race. It's only about 36 laps here at Talladega, but that's a lifetime. We expect to see 3 and possibly 4 or more wide drafting here on this track. So again, thanks for tuning in tonight. I know you have a choice. This is a special Tuesday night edition of the IWM Broadcast channel, and we're looking forward to it. So hang with us. We will be right back and bring to you tonight's special event. As we're waiting for practice to wind up here, we're already seeing some great 2 and 3 wide. Oh, it's right there. It doesn't take much. One of the challenges these drivers will face is, it's one thing in the trucks to know exactly how your bumper meets the rear bumper of the truck in front of you, but here with these ARCA cars, it's a completely different dynamic as to how this push will actually work here. So that's something we're excited to see here in the broadcast booth. Really looking forward to see how these drivers are able to manage it, just what kind of drama they'll get into. We're just really looking forward to what's out there today with these drivers. just watching. One of the things we are trying to figure out here is verifying that these numbers match up. We're not really sure. Again, this is a new car, so the paints aren't actually matching up well. So what we're seeing with some of these drivers may not exactly be who they are. So we're doing our best to figure things out. You can see already a bit of the drafting going on and how crazy it is as these guys, there's the 88 experiencing. You see the 48 being pushed by the 03. It doesn't take much. All it takes is just a little tap, and these guys are sideways. Great three-wide action in the back with the 89 in the middle. 48 down below. 23 up high. Again, we have not seen this car in action here. This is all new to us. Great save by the one in Pennzoil car. He was sideways. Is on board with Connor Yeroshat. I may have that name mispronounced. Connor, I apologize if I've messed up that pronunciation, but we're doing our best here. Three wide. You can see that's a big push. As he's just driving through the field. Completely different dash layout, a digital dash here. Actually, that voids that narrowly. There's a wreck in the back. These guys are really doing their best to try and figure out how best to get around here. Oh, big wreck, contact. 88 goes around, 23 and 8 are involved. And that's the end of practice. We are moving on to qualifying. Right, so we have no idea what a great time is. I'm sure we're going to figure it out any moment. We'll watch a few drivers get out there and qualify. This is the 27 of Steve Korosek in a very unusual paint scheme. It almost looks cartoonish in how it's applied to the car. We'll watch the 27 as he makes its way around. And while he does that, let's bring up the race information for tonight's event. Here's what we do know. Obviously, it's at Talladega. There's 36 laps to tonight's event. Pit road speed is 55 here at Talladega. There is one quick repair, which they're probably going to need. We've got 3 sets of tires, 65% fuel. We'll try to figure out just what that means. We're not exactly sure what the fuel mileage is on these cars or just exactly what that tank configuration is. It is pretty hot here in Talladega. Air temperature 65. Track temp is showing at 111 degrees, which is going to make this a pretty greasy track, which will further complicate how these drivers get around here. But overall, zero humidity, partly cloudy, and really no wind. So hopefully we'll see how this all plays out. But here we go watching Steve get around here. Nope, shuts it down. All right, so Steve is out there qualifying. Other drivers are on the track. That was a 54.462, but other times are beginning to flow in here. That is the 1 of Malik Ray. So the paint is a 1 on the car. You're in the tower, you'll see Malik come in as a 19, as an 18. Often happens in these hosted sessions where they don't actually have the exact number. They just have the number that iRacing assigns to them as part of our tower, which doesn't actually match the cars. We'll do our best to try and clear that up for you. Now see Cody Nagels making his way around. Currently Alex Hill is on top. Looking through, the majority of the field has finished qualifying. This is Ethan Eckhart finishing up his qualifying lap. You can see how it's represented. His paint scheme is inverted on the car, so that always makes things interesting. We'll see how that plays out. Looking for other drivers still on the track. This is Daniel Falkingham. He's got an 88 paint scheme. It actually will show as the 5 on the tower. So again, we'll deal with it as it comes. But again, pretty much qualifying is wrapping up here. Just another 15 seconds left, and we'll bring you the starting grid for tonight's SuperSpeedway Kings Invitational here at Talladega. Again, I'm Rick Souza, waiting for my co-broadcaster to join with that large update that came out today. That certainly has made it challenging for a lot of racers and broadcasters alike. It was a 14 gig download for tonight's event. So. All right, so it looks like we do have number of cars beginning to grid up. There is your pole sitter, and let's go ahead and bring to you our grid for tonight's event. All right, on the pole is Alex Hill. To his outside, Kyler Wynn. To the inside, Daniel Falkingham, Malik Ray on the outside. Sebastian Marin is in 5th place. In 6th, Steve Korosek. Mike George sits in 7th with Connor Arishak in 8th. Hunter Reynolds in 9th and Dylan Alt in 10th. Gabe Butler finds himself in 11th, and Austin Green finds himself in 12th. In 13th, John Ellis, 14th, Cody Nagels. Kenneth McCullough is in 15th. In 16th, Chris the Big Roos Walker. Sorry about that, Chris. Ryan Doucette in 17th. Freddie Bacinez is in 18th. I think I butchered that name. Devin Ray is in 19th. Landon Vilicki is in 20th. Trevor Ashwarnoff is in 21st. Evan Carlin is in 22nd. John Hall in 23rd. Jackson Holbrook is in 24th. In 25th, Matthew Patton, 26th. Jimmy Reynolds, 27th. Dusty Burkhart, 28th is Joey Masowicz. Dylan Jones finds himself in 29th. Daniel Eberhard, the third, is in 30th. Ethan Eckert is in 31st. 32nd is Joshua McCullough. 33rd is Christopher McCullough. Tucker McClendon is in 34th. Buddy Waters in 35th. And Derek Rowley is in 36th. I think that is the end of our folks. We've got 36 entries for tonight's event. All right, we are underway here, getting our pace lap in. Get that qualifying grid down so we can see what we see here. All right, Noah, welcome to the booth. Introduce my co-broadcaster is Noah Evans tonight, and we are just starting our pace lap.
Absolutely glad to be back. I hate my iRacing decided to quit on me right before this, so unfortunate, but glad to be back up here.
Absolutely. So got a lot of big names here in tonight's event. Put some info up just to kind of let people see just top 25 out of the 36 drivers who are here. If you're familiar with iRacing, Road to Pro, and any other of the big series, you'll recognize some of those names. A lot of big-time racers here in tonight's event.
Absolutely, and it is a fully stacked field here at Talladega, and these new ARCA cars, let me tell you, they're going to put a strain on that series as we phased out the Gen 4 ARCA car. Now we are in, I believe this is the Generation 6 car with the SS, the Ford Fusion, and the Mustang and the Toyota Camry. So a new life has been breathed into the ARCA series as we're getting ready to go green here.
All right, 36 laps. They've got one quick repair. We expect to see some pretty wild drafting here as Alex Hill leads them to the start-finish line.
We are green here at Talladega SuperSpeedway, the ARCA Series, making its debut as the number 12 machine going to lead us down into turn 1. Look at the momentum that outside line got there on that start, and we'll see if they can pull it off. We saw it earlier in the truck series, and we got a third lane trying to get started now.
It's already fanned out as these drivers take full advantage of these cars. They're handling the push and this track.
The baddest track in the South, Talladega SuperSpeedway, 2.5 miles of pure unadulterated speed. Look at Falking in there in the 88 machine trying to get a push up front. The 12 of Hill going to go up high, try to block that lane. He's going to get it. Look at the momentum these cars have coming off of turn 4.
Big push by the 48 to the 88 there. And again, those numbers.
Whoa. What a move there. Wow.
Those numbers that are in the tower, they're not going to match. Oh, already the 12. That's Alex Hill on the wall. He saves it. Oh, but we're wrecking. Big wreck here.
And welcome to ARCA Brakes. The big one has struck 2 laps in. Wow. Things went south real fast here.
It did. We didn't get a lap. We got a lap and a half in until all heck broke loose here at Talladega.
And we've heard the term brought up before of ARCA Brakes, and I think that might have been ARCA Brakes at its finest right there. Look at how many cars are taken out in that one. You got the 12 machine driving sideways there down the back straightaway. You can see a lot of front ends missing, a lot of doors missing, toe links broken, and this is, I believe, going to cost a lot of drivers their first and their only fast repair here.
A lot of drivers just victim of circumstance there as these cars came apart, especially when you had that strong push and then unfortunately that wreck at the front. Let's go back and see if we can quickly get a feel for just what happened here. It doesn't take much, Noah. That's that simple bit of contact right there. Sends the 12 of Alex Hill into the wall.
It doesn't look all that bad to start with, and then comes right back down into the 23 machine. And just a massive stack up there. As you can see, everybody wanted to get a piece of that one there. And
Wow.
there's the hit from the 78, which I believe completely destroyed the right rear on that car. And there's the big one. And I would say it's good to get out of the way early, but knowing how Talladega is and how, especially how ARCA is, that there's never guaranteed to only be just one.
Not with these cars, not what we're seeing. And again, as we talked about earlier at the beginning of the broadcast, these is basically new cars for all of these drivers.
Yeah, and it's obviously going to take a little bit to learn here, and you know, I would assume for these cars at least it wouldn't be too much different from the Gen 4. But surprisingly, I actually tested this car today. It's a lot different from the Gen 4 ARCA car, so a big change here, a lot less horsepower than the Gen 5 Cup car that these cars are based off of, but nonetheless a much different ball game here than what these drivers are used to with ARCA.
All right, a lot of drivers are having to use their quick repair to get back in the race. I think Kyler Wynn is currently shown as our control car as we get this back underway. And again, we've got a hosted session, so a lot of the drivers don't have matching paints to their numbers, which as a broadcaster, that makes our life just a little that much more difficult. So we'll do our best to say, hey, that's the 76 on his paint scheme, but actually on the tower it's 20.
Number 20, that's Kyler Wynn up in front there at his outside. It looks like it's going to be the one machine of Malik Ray, and you're going to see a lot of drivers up front that were in the rear for this race, but they're going to get an opportunity to try to go up front and win this thing after that big one. And we've seen it time and time again, just like I believe it was Brandon Jones here, or the man who started the Let's Go Brandon chant here, Brandon Smith, I believe his name was, the 68. So we've seen a lot of guys come from the back here to try to get up and win this race. So Talladega always is unpredictable with drivers, with the track conditions, and we'll see how this is going to play out here, as a lot of drivers in the back have survived it and have gotten their way up front.
And Noah, if you go ahead and check your Discord, I sent you a link to our timing. So
awesome, pulled up now.
All right.
There we go.
Because as broadcasters, we're still sitting here struggling between these numbers and trying to figure out. We'll do our best. It's a 36-lap event.
I mean, a lot shorter than what these guys are used to. I mean, we did a 200-lapper truck race, so this is more like a mad dash to the finish for these cars. There really is no time for conservation or anything like that. You just want to get up front and try to lead as many laps as you can, just foot to the floor running with the devil up in front.
All right, so we've got Kyler Wynn and Malik Ray, who will be on row 1 on this restart.
Cody Nagels and Daniel Eberhardt, row number 2. I believe that's Falkingham moving up a spot to 5th. Eckert up 20, and that's what you're going to see right here. You got drivers up 11, 26 spots, and you have a lot of cars up here that may not be used to seeing the front as much, but this is going to throw in a wrench to this plan here for a lot of these cars, especially with Malik Ray and Kyler Wynn. So we'll see how they'll handle these cars from the back that are probably going to be a lot more hungry for a win.
We were talking earlier about these guys and their I ratings. Just to give you a quick little, just a blip, you can just get a feel for some of these guys have some significant. You can see that there's some pro licensed drivers out there as well. Some big name guys.
You have C classes, B classes, A classes, everybody from kind of different backgrounds here in iRacing, and it's going to be different to watch. As you have a C class in 15th, that's Joshua McCullough. We saw him in the truck race a couple of days ago. So you got Sebastian Martin in the 7th car, A class, world class up here. So going to be different. Going to be really fun to watch how these drivers are going to battle it out and all these different classes that are up front. So keep an eye out on these C class and B class drivers.
All right, these drivers are making their way out of turn number 4. That pace car will drop off the racing surface momentarily and turn this race over to Kyler Wynn.
Tyler Wynn, Malik Ray are going to be your two up in front. Row 2, Daniel Eberhardt and Cody Nagels is going to be row number 2 here. Coming back to the Geico restart zone here at Talladega. Going to be about 31 laps remaining. And we're back green here at Talladega SuperSpeedway. 31 laps remaining.
Once you'll see these drivers get past that start-finish line, you'll begin to see them begin to fan out, try to find a line, and if they can't find one with these cars, they can make one.
That's the thing about Dega. It's always unpredictable. You never know what the guy behind you is going to do, and it's much harder to do when you don't have anybody with teammates. There's a 34 almost getting out of line there, trying to shove the one up high there. Not going to work, but you can see 3 lines starting to form now, and this is Super Speedway racing at its finest right here.
Big breakaway with this lead pack of about 6 or 7 cars, trying to separate themselves from the field. If they can stay green, they can go ahead and try to make a difference, but if you can get a number of partners out there, that outside line and that high line, you can make it happen.
Shout out to Ethan Eckert up in the 3rd spot, up 28 positions in that number 12 machine, so keep an eye out on him. But we got a lot of momentum getting on that outside line. A big push from the 46. Nagel's going to go right back down low where he's a lot more comfortable, and what a shove for that 48 machine. And boy, we're starting to get really aggressive here at Dega.
Yeah, there's no, as much as folks want to make it happen, that's the 40. It shows 22 on the screen, but that is the 48 in the car. That is Sebastian Marin out there, who now leads that outside line.
Man, these guys are so unbelievably loose to be starting this race right now, and it's really early to be making big moves like this, but when you have only 36 laps to get it done now, just under 30 laps to go, you don't have all that time. You don't have all the time in the world to try to fight your way and stay conservative up front, as Malik Ray and Kyler Wynn are showing right now, as they look like the 2 strongest cars. So we'll see how that'll play out as this high and low line are trying to fight it out for momentum.
Any opportunity for a gap, these drivers are dropping in, but they may not be quite clear, but they're still working their way in. A little bit of a shove here, a push there. They're making it happen.
It's been Wynn and Ray swapping positions so far up front. As you can see, that middle lane trying to merge up high. Looks like they'll get it, and looks like the one machine is going to get hung out to dry coming into the tri-oval here and out of it. Boy, and this is just a traffic jam in the middle of that package. Look at the 76 machine. 4 wide racing here at Talladega. Sebastian Marin's going to take the lead.
Oh, big move, big move. High line to low line. How they pulled that off, I have no idea. That's the 78.
Boy, what a move to get down to that line. I mean, that is just seeing the air right there. He knows where that momentum's going to start getting. And he saw an opportunity. He took it. He knew he had no one beside him. He knew he had no one below him. Boy, and these drivers up front, Wynn and Ray. Oh, big wreck, and there's the second one. Well, like I said earlier, you're never guaranteed just one. And there's the second one here at Dega, and that's going to take out a good amount of cars. It's like about 7 or 8 of them. You can see a lot of damage on these cars. You got one driving sideways, missing front ends, and
that's Mike George there in that 88. So this car just came out today. Most of these drivers did not have a paint scheme, so a lot of them just were trying to find something that would work. So the numbers are off. That's why we're struggling a bit here. And why we have a lot of duplicate numbers on the track. But wow, another yellow flag comes out here at Dega. Let's see if we can bring some of that back. Let's find Dusty Burkhart. I think unfortunately he was involved. Ken McCullough as well. See the damage on that number 3 from Kenny McCullough. So we're going to kind of guess where we think this occurred. I don't know if this is the case, but we're going to kind of watch and see what happens here. Oh, right there.
Right in the middle there, it looks like it starts, and you can see someone spun up to the high line, just nowhere to go for a lot of these cars. Hey, look at that 46 right there, threading the needle. That's Buddy Waters in the time machine. Just barely got through that. No damage, it looks like, on his car, and boy, that's going to shake the field up a lot once again.
All right, pretty much the entire field is on pit road for our second caution of the day.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of a rush to get off pit road.
Looks like it's either going to be fuel or it's going to be tires for these drivers. Looks like some took fuel, and tires don't really play a factor here at Talladega, as you can just pretty much flat-foot it all the way around this track except when pushing, but fuel is definitely always a factor here. You may be 10 laps to the green, 1 lap to the green. However, you're always kind of, fuel's always in the back of your mind here. You're always kind of, watching how close you are, if you're even going to make it to the next lap, and that's why the draft plays so much of a role here at Talladega. As you can see, Green, it looks like Austin Green's going to take the lead. Falkingham will be second. Wynn will be third. So you got a couple cars trying to sort themselves out up front for who got off pit road first.
All right, we appreciate y'all tuning in tonight to this special edition of the IWM broadcast of the SuperSpeedway Kings Invitational here with ARCA cars. If you get an opportunity, please click on the subscribe and you'll get up to date on what's happening on the IWM Broadcast Network on tomorrow night, Wednesday night. We are off to Vegas with the Tech for Troops Cup Series. That series regularly mirrors the NASCAR schedule with a few exceptions, and we'll be in Vegas. And on Thursday night, we'll be there with the INRS Racing Series, also at Las Vegas. So if you liked it once, watch it twice. Come out and join us Wednesdays and Thursday nights.
Going to be an exciting race at Vegas for sure. Vegas is always one of those tracks that always produces good racing, no matter where you are on track. And you can see normally the sponsor, the Pennzoil 400. You can see the one machine right there, reminiscent of Steve Park's old car. That's Malik Ray in the one car. So catch those drivers out there tomorrow at Las Vegas, the Sin City, and it's always going to be a good one there at Vegas. But right now we are watching a barn burner, a chaotic barn burner at that here at Dega.
25 laps to go in this invitational shootout with the new ARCA cars. Just reading through the chat a bit, the Mystic Whisperer said craziness. That kind of that sums up tonight's event. There's a lot of craziness out there.
That's about most races at Talladega, about how they always go down. So you'll see drivers up front who probably have never even seen the front of a field before, clean asphalt in front of them. So it's going to be interesting to see who's going to fight their way up front. And that's the thing about Dega. It's a game of survival. It's just trying to get to the end as clean as you possibly can. And right now, these two cars up front right now with Austin Green and Kyler Wynn, going to be interesting to watch those guys duke it out in matching paint schemes.
All right, drivers are in the middle of the back stretch now as we try to get this race back underway. They'll take the green flag to begin lap 24 as we wind our way down. Jimmy Crow tends to put together some great races, and today is no exception. Just some tremendous names. As you follow iRacing and the drivers out there, whether that's the Road to Pro Series or other events, especially the money races, these names are familiar.
Austin Green and Kyler Wynn are going to be your cars up front. Green in the 87, Wynn in the 76. So don't get those two confused with their paint schemes. Falkingham and Malik Ray. Malik Ray is going to be in the one machine. Falkingham in the Dale Earnhardt Jr. 88 National Guard car. And Sebastian Marin, Connor Yaroshak, Cody Nagels, Jimmy Reynolds, Gabe Butler, and Chris Walker are going to be your top 10 going back green here at Talladega.
Austin Green is in charge, and we are underway.
Boy, what a jump from Austin Green to get up front. Kyler Wynn's going to be the next car behind him. Ray's going to try to get a run and a push from the 88 of Falkingham. They're going to have Sebastian Marin in the 23, excuse me, Connor Urashak in the 23, pushing that outside line. It looks like a lot of these cars are going to try to go up high. Look at the move there to get down low is the 6 of, I believe that is Nagel's going to get hung out to dry there. He'll try to get someone hooked up with him. And here comes the 23 of Connor Urashak going to get down to the inside lane. And that outside line just gets hung out to dry here at Dega.
Just watching these runs, these drivers are getting off these corners. Is we're wrecking again.
Whoa. Well, I was going to
around.
say, if we could get 5 more laps in, that'd be a miracle. And looks like that miracle won't happen again. Caution flag again here at Dega. He's got a couple cars mowing the grass here. There goes the 77 machine of Ryan Dissett, and boy, they're going back at it again, and everybody wants to win tonight.
Well, unfortunately, with just one quick repair, some of these drivers may find themselves on the outside looking in.
Yeah, and you got to use it sparingly. That's the thing about Dega. You have got to use your fast repair sparingly, especially in a race like this where you only get one. So being conservative here is key when it comes to things like that, but unfortunate for a lot of those cars who've already used one up. As you can see, someone's got a bumper falling off, someone has one already fallen off and driving sideways, someone with a loose toe link, and boy, you got a lot of cars damaged in that one.
Yep, that 12 of Alex Hill there, he's missing a good bit of that body work, and I'm not sure that left front's pointing in the right direction.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. He looks like he's been caught up in just about every wreck tonight so far. Really unfortunate for Alex Hill, but we'll see if he can get that car back to pit road and fixed up. But what a job by Ryan Dissett to get through that. Was cutting the grass through most of that infield, and boy, that's just some excellent car control to get it back up through that field and eventually save it.
All right, that tail end of this field looks like the walking wounded. Drivers are making their way now onto pit road. Handful of drivers have elected to stay out.
Looks like that's most of the field wanting to stay out here, thinking they can make it on fuel. Most likely they will for those who have already pitted. The 23 looks like he's going to come down pit road again. The 1 of Ray is going to come down again. So interesting strategies here we're looking at Talladega, but we'll see if any of these will pay off in the end and look back and say, hey, that was a good move.
All right, look at the 89 of Trevor Ashwarnoff. Again, I apologize if I butchered your name. I think he elected to stay out.
Like he may assume, it looks like he will assume the lead up 20 spots. Wow. Got a lot of cars in here. Not used to being up front. 18 spots, 11 spots, 17. A lot of cars losing speed. The 12 of Hill losing 32 spots. Mike George losing 28. So a lot of leaders getting caught up in that and losing a lot of spots. But you got a lot of good cars and fast cars up front right now.
I don't think anybody has officially retired as of yet. In fact, that 36th place car of Jackson Holbrook, he is actually back out on the track. Alex Hill is making his way out. Looks like he used his quick repair. But unfortunately, Mike George, see if we can see, get a shot of Mike George. Yep, he is underway.
Looks like everybody's getting back in this one.
Yeah, we've got no retirees. That is a great thing. With just 22 laps to go.
And usually it's the more cars, the merrier. And that's always the case, especially on iRacing. But, you know, at Talladega, more the merrier either means more in the big one or the more going into Dale Jr.'s boneyard. So we'll see if we'll have any more big ones tonight. But 22 laps remaining. It should be 21 20 by the time we go back to green, but a lot of good cars still in contention here.
All right.
89.
Yep, 89 will be the control car on this restart. Is it Daniel Falkingham that's in that 88 National Guard?
I believe it is. Falkingham's going to assume, I believe that's the third spot there. Kyler Wynn's going to be on the outside, and that's a name I would assume we're going to be watching a lot tonight is Kyler Wynn and Malik Ray. They've been the two best cars at navigating the rest of this field, so we'll see if they can do it once again, starting from, I believe, the second spot and the fifth spot.
So we don't have a lot of good information on fuel mileage or tank size on these cars. I'm assuming it's 18 gallons, not sure. But certainly fuel economy, we don't have any data. I think at this point, though, with 21 laps to go, 65% fuel. I'm going to do a little bit quick math and see if there's anything important I can actually bring up. It may be nothing. Math at almost 9 o'clock on a Tuesday night is not my strong suit.
Pace car is going to pull off. 86 of Trevor Arswanath going to be in the first spot. Kyler Wynn to his outside. Falkingham and Yarashak are going to be in the third and fourth position, respectively. Malik Ray, a car we've been talking about a lot, going to be in the fifth position. Going back to green, it's going to be Arswanath and Wynn on the front row. Back into the restart zone. A good jump there from the 89 machine. We'll see if he can get a good push from Falkingham. But that outside line has just been rolling on these restarts and just looking like the much superior pushers like to stay up high.
All right, based on my math, and we could be all wet on this, it looks like they've got 22 miles of fuel of capability in those tanks, so it may be pretty close.
Oh!
That was a strong push. It almost went sideways. Oh, 76.
There he goes.
Caution hasn't flown yet. He's still out there. That's a 76 that went sideways.
We'll see if we'll get one. We're still going to stay green here at Talladega as a 23 of Yarashak's going to assume the lead. Nagel's a hard-fought drive up to the front. He's going to be up 12 spots. We'll see if he can make a run for the win right now as he's going to have Sebastian Marin, Gabe Butler up in front. And boy, things go sideways fast, literally, here at Talladega.
They saw that 76 car go right through the center of the field, but he didn't. I don't think he touched anybody.
It's like a spin on his own. We'll have to go back and see next time we get a chance. But Cody Nagel.
Something's happening.
Oh, there he goes. Once again, the big one strikes. That's number 3. And that's most of the back half of this field. Caution flag out again. Oh, and another big hit there. It's like the tire's off on the 48 machine. And you're going to need all 4 of those to get around here.
That number 3, his left front is up in the engine compartment. That's not going to work. 48's going down. He's crab walking down the track.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of these, a lot of these wrecks will buff out here. So that's exactly probably what the 76 wanted. It was what the 76 wanted to see was a caution come out so he can get this field back together. And man, when things go south at Dega, they go south fast, and you just really have no time to predict what's going to happen.
Trying to figure out exactly, because I know that 76 didn't actually match. Trying to figure out who that driver was, if you recall, Noah.
Looking back through my names here, we'll see. Go back to
that matching paint scheme.
Yeah, I believe he was matching with the 86 machine.
There's Kyler Wynn. I think that was who we were talking about.
Yep, Kyler Wynn.
He doesn't look too bad. Looks in pretty decent shape.
It looks like he saved it going down the back straightaway too, which heck of a save. Props to him for getting that car back straight and continuing on, but that's exactly what he wanted to see. He's all the way back in 31st, so no doubt in my mind he'll be able to fight his way back up front when this field gets back together.
Try to see if we can go back to that incident. Well, let's go back to that last incident, see if we can quickly see just what happened there.
There's a lot of front ends missing there. We'll see where it all went wrong here. It looks like on that high line, a big push to Urashak just all went wrong. You got a car into the wall. That outside lane just stacks up there, and just chaos throughout this field. Yeah, it looks like it starts right there.
That's the 64 going sideways. Takes
12
out
goes
the
around
3.
as well. Looks like you got 2. Oh, the 19 gets sideways, almost goes completely over. He's on the back of the 64 machine.
Oh, big damage.
It looks like you had 2 wrecks kind of formulating there, so it was going to be a caution either way. One of those happened, but nonetheless, a massive, massive wreck here at Talladega.
All right. So 17 laps to go here at Talladega in the SuperSpeedway Kings Invitational. You know, you've got some big names out here, Noah, but they're out here. I mean, we've got great drivers, but they're out here in a relatively brand new car that they haven't had a whole lot of time to draft with other drivers on, and they're 3 and 4 wide. That's just a recipe for.
Yeah, and like you said, this is going to be a learning experience for a lot of these drivers. Their first test of the ARCA cars, we don't go back official racing till I believe at 11 o'clock tonight. So still trying to get the kinks figured out for these drivers, and good thing the official series won't be starting at Talladega again. And boy, if it's anything as chaotic with no cautions, can't imagine what it's going to be like in the official series. But right now you got a lot of good cars still up in front here, as Arsbernoth is going to stay up in front, and Nagels has just been conservative, gotten through the wrecks. We'll see if he can win it, and Malik Ray as well in the 1. These are looking like your top 3 fastest cars here, and we'll see if any of them will be able to pull off a win before race end.
So that's an interesting thing you said, because this is the ARCA series. So if you're familiar with how NASCAR, you've got your Cup Series, you've got your Xfinity, you've got your Truck Series, and then you've got the ARCA Series. So that's kind of like an entree in where we see your first attempt at getting into a Cup style car. And similar on iRacing, that's kind of like your step. That's kind of like one of the initial steps when you're new to iRacing. That's the process that you go as you begin to graduate through the licensing process.
Absolutely. Now you got 3 cars to choose from. You have the Chevy, the Toyota, and the Ford. Last time it was just the Chevy Impala. So you got some decent choices now, a lot of paint schemes to be made, and a lot of races to be run for this new era of beginner racing here on iRacing. But a lot of NASCAR's and a lot of iRacing's best up in front here, as you got Nagels, Arsbernoth, Ray, and Eberhardt up in front right now. That's going to be your top 4 going back green, and we'll restart with 15 laps remaining.
Right now, believe it or not, I think there's just one car in the pits. That's Kenneth McCullough. He's been there for a while trying to get some repairs done. We're getting 35 cars back on the track and back underway.
We'll see how that'll play out once again, as you got a lot of good cars in the back, a lot of somewhat decent cars up in front right now, as a lot of guys we saw start in the back and have made their way up through the front by process of elimination and through attrition. And look at that number 12 machine back up in front. Alex Hill got caught up in of just about every wreck you could possibly get in. So we'll see if he can make his way back up to the front as we're getting ready to go back green.
out of the Geico restart zone, and we are back underway.
Let's see if they can keep it straight here for just 15 more laps, and there's only one lap that matters. That's the last one. We'll see if these drivers can hang on just long enough to keep it green. Arsmanoff going to be up in front. Nagels on that inside line. A lot of lines starting to form up here. Almost 4 wide there. He's got a lot of cars shifting around in the back. We're going to keep it straight here at Dega, and that outside line is just going to keep on moving. What a run by that outside lane. Daniel Eberhard is going to be leading it. You got Alex Hill up there. And it is just utter chaos trying to navigate this field right now. Lanes moving, lanes closing, lanes dying out. We'll see how this will play out coming off turn 4.
Little breakaway with those first 3 cars. Oh, a big push. Daniel Eberhard got it shoved out of the way. He holds on to it.
With it. Wow. And he's going to stay with it, and almost disaster for Eberhard. And Hill and Falkingham are going to be your 3-car breakaway right now, and that is not a sight you want to see if you were any of those 3 cars. Is a 35-car field just rumbling towards you, thundering down this Talladega back straightaway as Nagel's line, who's that inside, is going to try to go into the middle here. You got a lot of cars going to move up from that line, and we got contact in the back there. We're going to keep it straight here. He's got a car on the apron. Oh, and there's another wreck. Caution flag going to fly once again at Dega. There's caution, I believe caution number 5. And a lot less violent of a wreck that we've seen in the last 3 or 4. Looks like that's just about 4 or 5 cars, but nonetheless still... Yeah, you can see cars on the apron there, and we'll see where it all kind of goes wrong here. Right up in front there, there's a 46 machine of Buddy Waters going around, and just... unfortunate, spinning back up in the field, nowhere to go for anybody, and you're just kind of along for the ride at that point. The 48 into him as well, and boy, we've seen a lot of these cars get caught up in these wrecks early. Look at that car, I believe that's a 69 of Dusty Burkhardt threading the needle there, and
Christopher McCullough is at 19, all tore up. 17 of Jimmy Reynolds there, spinning through the grass.
Like he'll get away with no damage, or no major damage at least, on that number 17 Ford. And it's like your leader, Alex Hill, and hard work pays off. He stayed patient. He's been in just about every wreck here. The first 3 big ones he was in, and stayed patient, and that's how he finds himself up front. Nagels, Ray, Eberhard, and Falkingham are going to be your top 5 here, and Eberhard up 26 spots, Nagels up 12, and you got a lot of big movers up in front of this field.
All right, number of drivers on pit road. Josh McCullough, Austin Green coming down. Evan Carbone, Dylan Alt, Ryan Doucette, Jimmy Reynolds, Christopher McCullough, Joshua McCullough, all on pit road.
A lot of good cars, a lot of fast cars up on pit road there. As you can see, the 46 is going to be back out on track, but unfortunate there, as you can see smoke starting to come out of that number 76 machine, and man, it looked like it was all going to come together, and just not enough to get through that. He looks like he's going to get back out, but he's got Austin Green's going to have a long way to the top to rock and roll, as he's going to be in the back of this field. I don't believe he's going to lose any laps there, but a long way back up front for Austin Green, losing 22 spots in that wreck.
All right, let's see where we are at. Okay, 12 laps to go. We'll be probably back with 10 laps, I think, at the end here.
Yep, and this is going to be probably the most chaotic stretch of this race. But
if it wasn't chaotic
already,
enough,
it's going to start getting more here, and hopefully we'll stay green here. I don't believe we've had a run for longer than 4 or 5 laps, so we'll see if these drivers can stick it out here at Dega for just another 12. And if any of these drivers wants to win, I would assume it's going to be the 12 machine of Alex Hill.
Yeah, starting on the pole, worked hard to get back to where he's at. But you can't count out 16 of Cody Nagels, Malik Ray, Daniel Eberhardt, Daniel Falkingham, Chris Walker, and there's just a lot of guys up there that can compete and contend for the win.
Hill, Nagels, Ray, Eberhardt, and Falking, your top 5 here. And we've talked a lot about Malik Ray, but his racecraft so far for a lot of this race has just gone under the radar. He stayed consistent, has stayed out of wrecks, and has found himself in that 3rd spot right behind Alex Hill. And it's going to be interesting to see where this line is going to go here, what line is going to get the better restart. It's been different for a lot of this race. You'll see on restarts the high line will be good, and then it'll go right back down to the low line. So we'll see who's the better pusher on all of these lines here, whether we'll see 3 or 4 wide. So going to be interesting to see what line's going to get the momentum coming to the restart.
Well, a good bit of these guys no longer have a fast repair to be able to lean on, so they've got to be a little bit more cautious or conservative. But we haven't seen any conservative racing so far. Ken, thanks for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network. We appreciate those who are watching live. We certainly appreciate you, and if you could, just click on that subscribe button, and we'll keep you up to date on things happening here on our broadcast channel.
Hill and Nagels are looking like your 2 best cars right now, but don't count out Malik Ray or Daniel Falkingham. It's going to be a lot of fun to see these cars try to get back up to the front and try to make a long green flag run here to the end. 10 laps, and I know 10 laps doesn't seem like a long time, but at Talladega, and as chaotic as it's been, that seems like forever for a lot of these cars.
You saw those drivers in those cars straddle that apron and that racing surface. That is the most dangerous place on this track.
We've seen wrecks everywhere. Turn 1, 2, back straightaway, 3, front straightaway. So we've just about touched every base here at Talladega. Going back to the restart zone, we'll see who's the better pusher, who's got the most guts here at Talladega. Going back green, it's going to be the 12 of Hill and Nagels. Going to be leading us back as that outside line starts to roll once again. We'll see if Nagels will stick with that line, or will Hill start to pull out, and it looks like they're going to be side by side going into turns 1 and 2. 3rd line starting. Thundering down into turns number 3 and 4. It's going to be Eberhardt up in front, Bazinez in the 9 machine, Hill in the 12, and you got a lot of cars battling for this lead here. 3 wide still here at and we're wrecking in the back once again. Caution flag is going to fly off turn 4, and that's big one, number 4. Boy, and we've seen a lot of action and a lot of wrecks tonight. Is a 46. Unfortunate again, caught up in the last one. He's going to be caught up in it again. That's Buddy Waters pulling on to pit road, and unfortunate for him.
So I think we're getting word from race control that there actually may have been more than one fast repair, which would explain how good these cars are looking after 25 laps.
Yeah, no, I was going to possibly bring that up. That 46 has been involved in the last 3 cautions and pretty bad damage to that 46, and he's gotten back out there every single time. So that makes a lot more sense now that we know that there's multiple fast repairs.
Yeah, based on our original information, we had thought there was just one, but there apparently are more. which is making for some good racing. But maybe not the most conservative racing.
No, and it is just acts of desperation, I guess you could call it, to get up front. But a lot of these guys are really hungry to get not only the win, but to get this race over with, as chaotic as it has been. And you see a lot of good cars up front right now. Eberhard, Bastenes, Nagels, Hill, and it's going to be interesting to see who's going to pull it out. We don't know who it's going to be coming to the line. You're nobody's teammate. You're nobody's friend. So going to be interesting to see here how these cars are going to play out these last 8, should be 7 laps next time by.
All right. Lights are still on the pace car. We are still under our 6th caution of the night.
I will say one thing here about Dega is that the wrecks we've had so far have all been spectacular. No single car spins, nothing along those lines, but it has all been field taking out most of the field here at Dega. So been chaotic, but it's been fun, I'm sure, for a lot of these cars up in front here, and frustrating for some, fun for others. And you really just want to be up front, and I can't blame these guys for trying to be as aggressive as they can here. Up front's where you want to be, especially early on in this race here. Just clean asphalt ahead of you, and that's your best chance of avoiding the big one.
All right. Still pacing here with just 8 laps to go. We could be going back with 6 laps.
Going to be an exciting restart nonetheless, and when it gets down to 5 to go, it's going to be tough for a lot of these cars to get back up in front. They're going to be aggressive, they're going to push, they're going to shove, everything that they're going to try to do, they want to make work, and it may not work out, but in these drivers' mind, no move is too aggressive right now.
Well, you've only got one shot at this point. If there's just a handful of laps left, you've got to make a move. And if that's 3 wide, if that's 4 wide, that's all you got.
Some drivers may even try to make it 5 wide. Who knows? It's Talladega. This is the craziest racetrack on the planet here. And we're going to see 6 laps to go when we come back to the line, and we'll see if any of these drivers will either A, stay alive, or B, try to pull off a win here at Talladega.
All right, Daniel Eberhard will be the control car on this restart. He's in that gray 34 on the inside line. See the drivers drop off the racing surface a bit. I think that's a fuel savings approach.
See how they'll do here at Talladega. Eberhard, Bastenes, Nagels, Hill, Arswanoth, your top 5. And that's the name we've seen dipping in and out of this top 5 here is Trevor Arswanoth in that number 89 machine. So we'll see if he can pull off a win here tonight. And Malik Ray in that number 1 Pennzoil machine. And looks like a Steve Parks throwback there in that number 1 car. We'll see if he can fight his way back up front. He's been one of the better cars all day long, and he knows how to get his way through wrecks. He knows how to get up front. So we'll see if Malik Ray can possibly pull this off.
You can see he's actually clutching it right there. You can see that the RPM's dropped to 300. He's doing that to save fuel.
Yeah, we'll see if it'll pay off here at Talladega. Like we said earlier, fuel saving is everything here. It's always in the back of your mind. So we'll see if Malik Ray will A, have enough, and B, will he make it to the finish here at Talladega as we're coming back to the restart.
Six laps to go at the line. Daniel Eberhard is in charge as he's about to enter the Geico restart zone. haven't seen one line dominate more than others. It's just really just trying to avoid the wreck.
We've seen high, we've seen low, we've seen middle. All get good momentum here at Talladega, going back green into 1 and 2. We'll see who will be the better line here and what line will win in this momentum war here. As you can see, one car, that's the 03 machine, already going to try to get out of line. That's John Hall, the 34, going to go at the block. We got a car blinking. That's Freddie Bassinez. We'll see if that'll play a factor into this. Will cars try to avoid him? We got a car into the wall again.
That's the 34 that just was your leader.
And there's that is the big one for sure. And like we were saying up front's the place to be. Not this time. The 34 is going to get taken out. A lot of cars in this one taken out here, and frustration for that 34 team, and thought they had it in the bag, Daniel Eberhard, and unfortunate for that team, and looks like they'll get fast repaired and try to get back out up front, and he is crab walking down the back straightaway, and not what you want to see if you're that driver. Wow, that is way out of shape there.
That's certainly a damaged frame on that 34.
Oh, it's a lot more than a damaged frame. That's an entire car out of commission there. As it looks like Cody Nagels is going to be scored your leader here. Boy.
Right.
And things went south fast. And I would assume as many laps as we have left, we may go back to green-white checker. We'll see if we'll have the laps to do it. I believe 3 pacing laps is the standard, so we'll restart with 2 to go. We'll see if they will put a green-white checker up in front. So we'll see what happens here as cars cars beginning to roll off pit road here.
Check your Discord, Noah.
So we'll see how this is going to play out here, and it's been chaotic so far here at Talladega with 7 cautions coming out, and none of them have been short of spectacular field wreckers, and we've seen everything from the leader get taken out to the car in dead last being taken out. So we'll see who will survive, who will go home empty-handed here at Dega. Cars fuel saving, cars trying to burn some weight off here as Nagels and looks like Arsmanoff is going to be trying to save fuel here down on that apron. Malik Ray looks like he's through with his fuel saving antics on the apron, and a lot of cars going for this lead. We have almost 36 cars going to go for the win here. Looks like none of them are any laps down here, so we'll see if one of them will pull it off. Will a car up front pull it off? That's the thing about Talladega. You never know who it's going to be. We've seen drivers like Brandon Brown win here, Jamie McMurray, Eric Almirola, a lot of guys you wouldn't expect to win up in front. Stenhouse Jr. just last year winning the playoff race at Talladega. It's always unpredictable. And you very rarely see a team dominate or just any car dominate tracks like Talladega's. When we come back to the line, it's going to be 3 to go. When we restart, it should be 2 laps to go when we go back green.
All right. Our 7th caution of the night. Could be the last one.
Could be. You never know. It's Dega. We'll see what pays off, and so far for Nagels and Arsmanoff, it's been being conservative. You can see you got 2 cars in the apron there, Arsmanoff and Ray trying to save fuel, clutching in, trying to get every last drop out of that fuel tank that they possibly can, not wanting to waste anything.
Lights are off on the pace car.
Lights are off.
3 to go.
It's going to be chaotic when we come back to this line. It's going to be 2 laps remaining, and normally that's when you start seeing a lot of action, but we've seen our fair share of it so far today as fuel saving. It looks like the strategy for the one of Malik Ray, and I wouldn't be shocked if that car begins to pull up front, and hopefully he wants to try to steal this win, as Nagels and Arzanoff have been the cars that have stayed out of trouble a lot of this race.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know who actually survived this without a quick repair, without using their fast repairs. But
we'll see if any cars made it through completely unharmed and with no incident points. I highly doubt the no incident points part, but the no damage, I would assume that there is at least one car in this field that has not been either spun or touched or hit. So we'll take a look at that at the end of this race. But right now it's been chaotic so far at Dega, but nonetheless it has been a exciting race here at Dega.
all right, these cars make their way between turns 3 and 4. Cody Nagels will be in charge of this restart.
And it's going to be nothing short of exciting when we go back green. It's Dega, baby. This is the most exciting racetrack on the planet, the most chaotic racetrack on the planet. Nagels, Arzanoff, both of them want to win it just as bad as the other one, but only one driver out of these 30-some-odd cars, 36 cars, is going to come home tonight with the cash and with the trophy.
There's some big money out there tonight.
Back to green. 2 to go. As exciting as it gets. We'll see if they can hold on.
Yeah, they have to make it at least around just one lap without wrecking, and we'll stay green.
I believe the limit is 3 green-white checkers. We'll see if they can hold on for that long. And
there's a lot of movement. How does that car make it around with so much front-end damage? He is able to lead that middle line.
Hey, that's just weight reduction over there on that number 88 car, leading that middle line somehow. Arzanoff making a lot of moves, trying to hold off this number 5.
They're wrecking in the
back. We got cars wrecking, and they won't make it back to the line. Will they keep it green?
Caution has not come out. Caution has not come out.
Looks like they're going to let him race. White flag and a fly for Trevor Arzanoff. Will they make it back?
Final lap.
This is it for all the marbles. They're going to keep them green going into turns number 1 and 2.
There's wrecking happening behind them. It's wrecking everywhere.
3-car, 6-car breakaway. It looks like now. Can that line behind them get any momentum now? Still wrecking. For some, the opportunity of a lifetime. For some, it'll be just another win in the bag. Arzanoff trying to win this race. Falking him right behind him. Will that outside line get any momentum? It looks like they are too far back. Who will start making moves now? Here comes Gabe Butler looking forward. They're going to get side by side coming down to the line. Who's it going to be? A push from the one of Malik Ray. It looks like it's going to be Arzanoff pulling this one out here at Dega, up 20 spots from the back to the front. Trevor Arzanoff is going to win here at Talladega.
Like Daniel Falkingham came in second, Malik Ray in third. We'll wait for the officials, but that's what we know. It may be a while as those wounded try to make their way back across that start-finish line.
Yeah, we'll see if there are cars still trying to make it back to the line. Maybe some still racing to try to get back up there and at least take the checkered flag. But Arzanoff, in nothing short of an attrition race, pulls it out here at Dega, upsets this field, and up 20 spots from 21st to 1st. What a win for that 89 car.
Well, we knew it was going to be exciting. Yeah, we knew it was going to be exciting at the end as we watch He's 89. Take his burnout.
A shout out to another car here in the 4th position. Dusty Burkhardt up 23 spots in the number 69 machine. But Trevor Arsmanoff, hats off to you. Up 20 spots. Did everything right this race. And you can't say that a lot here at Talladega, but he truly, strategy, getting through wrecks, everything, he managed to get right, and that's why he's going to park it in victory lane and on the finish line here at Talladega.
All right, looks like we've got some results. All right, Trevor Arsmanoff wins here at Talladega in the SuperSpeedway Kings Invitational. Daniel Falkingham in second. Malik Ray finishes in third. Dusty Burkhardt in fourth. Kyler Wynn in fifth. Austin Green in sixth. Gabe Butler finishes in seventh. Alex Hill in eighth. Landon Vilecki in ninth. Cody Nagels is in 10th.
Dylan Jones in 11th. Joshua McCullough in 12th. Connor Urashak in 13th. John Ellis in 14th. Chris D.A. in 15th, Buddy Waters in 16th, Steve Korsak in 17th, Hunter Reynolds in 18th, Jackson Holbrook in 19th, and Matthew Patton in the 20th position.
21st, Devin Ray, Ryan Doucette in 22nd, Freddie Bassinez in 23rd, Jimmy Reynolds in 24th, Evan Carwam in 25th, Sebastian Marion finishes 26th, Daniel Eberhard in 27th, Tucker McClendon in 28th, Dylan Ault finishes in 29th, Ethan Eckert in 30th, Chris McCullough in 31st, Mike George 32nd, Joey Masowitz in 33rd, John Hall in 34th, Kenneth McCullough in 35th, and Derek Raleigh finishes in 36th. All right, we do have Daniel Falkingham in the waiting room. Let's see if Malik Ray will join us. We'll go ahead and bring in Daniel. We'll see if Malik will join us in a bit. Daniel, congratulations. You survived and finishes in second.
Yeah, I'm glad we survived that, man. That was, I knew it would be crazy with all of us trying to figure out a new car and whatnot. And it definitely was tricky. A lot of these guys definitely trying to figure this car out. Wasn't the cleanest race in the world, but you're going to have that when trying to figure out a new car and whatnot. But definitely wish it was a little bit cleaner, but like I said, you'll have that. But glad we were up there, finished second, which we got the win right there, but just Trevor got the help he needed right at the line. But I'm just glad we all finished up there. We could have a clean race at the end there and at least have a good finish after what a poor race that was, unfortunately. But you'll have that sometimes.
Yeah, that's especially you had the perfect storm here. You had a new car. You had a drafting track like Talladega. You had some big name aggressive drivers in the field that were out there. These things are going to happen. But you had a lot of fast repairs to pick from to get your car back on the track. It was kind of like the perfect storm.
Yeah, like I didn't even know we had unlimited fast repairs until we got on the grid. So that was definitely an interesting component to come into play. But yeah, I was actually kind of worried about what my damage was going to be at the end because I guess I picked up a little bit of damage getting through that last wreck on the last caution flag. That was a big one up at the front of the field, but we navigated through, and thankfully we were in the right line at the right time because I feel like that outside, as long as you can like get hooked up, tandemed up on the outside, it's just going to soar. But I definitely had to be careful pushing Trevor there because I was locked onto his bumper, pushed down the backstretch, and it almost like hooked him sideways down the backstretch. So I had to be careful with my pushing on the last lap because I saw we had a big gap to everyone else with me, Gabe, and Trevor all pulling away. But so yeah, I'm glad we could have break away and try to decide amongst ourselves. But yeah, that was definitely tricky to figure out all at the end, especially trying to figure this new car out. So but I definitely wish it was cleaner. But definitely can be a lot of fun if we get some green flag racing.
You got it. Any shout outs tonight?
Yeah, just got to shout out you guys broadcasting. Thanks to Jimmy for all he does putting this on. I know we've had some rough ones out here, but like I said, it's part of it. We'll get it figured out eventually. And yeah, thank you everyone who comes to our races. And yeah, thanks everybody. That's all I got.
Got it. All right. Thanks, Daniel Falkingham, finishing here at the SuperSpeedway Kings Invitational, finishes in second. We do have Trevor. Let's see if we can bring Trevor into the broadcast booth. There he is.
I'm going to come.
Trevor, congratulations.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was unexpected, wasn't it?
Well, unexpected, plus 20 to all the way to first and the win. A lot of craziness out there. Um, we were talking earlier with Daniel. It's just, you've got the perfect storm here. You've got the new car drops in. You've got a drafting track like Talladega. You've got some a heck of a field of drivers out there. Wow, and everybody wanted to get to the front quick.
Oh man, if that wasn't the case, well, I guess what started that they accidentally put unlimited fast repairs. So 9 times out of 10,
Yep.
you're going to try to go to the front every lap.
Well,
and I get it.
Every time you go in, you're going to get a fresh car. So.
Oh, for sure, and that was my intention every single time. I ain't gonna lie to you. I went to the wall every single time that I possibly could. And
yep, going into this, I mean, as a driver myself, you go into every race thinking that I'm going to win this thing. But starting in the 21st spot, fighting your way up front, did you ever think you would have a shot to get through all those big ones and to eventually pull off this win?
I knew even if I didn't make it through a big one, I was going to make it through the big one regardless. So, I don't know, man. I know if I get up front, I'm going to find a way to at least kind of stay in the mix. And with these cars, they're really, really similar to the next gen cars and kind of the Xfinity and the truck, just the way how they draft. So you're driving next gen style, and then you're pushing truck style, and then you're just hoping for the best. So maneuvering through and just kind of finding the run, that was kind of the easy part, because we do this a lot. So this was just kind of like a learning experience, really, of how these cars run.
Well, I was going to ask if you thought that the ability to push was better or worse with these cars than the trucks.
Okay, so the trucks, you can push all out.
Yeah.
Awesome. You could slam draft, you can go all the way 100% every single time. These cars, they're like a mix between the next gen and the trucks. The next gens, you could hit and hold and hit, and you might not spin out. These cars have to be very careful. It's like I was saying with the Xfinity cars. You could push these cars like the trucks, and when you get in the corners, it's like the Xfinity cars. You're gonna bumper hook. So you kind of have to find the happy medium between the two. And once you figure that out, I mean, man, you're set sail. I got a little experience pushing Cody and Malik, and I think D3, and I got Chris a little bit up there, Freddie Bazinez. I was just kind of figuring out how hard I can go without turning the guy in front of me. So I think it's better because it creates more of a, how would you say, you have to be really patient.
Yep.
There's more patience in these cars that you would have to do instead of using the other cars. I don't know. I like it. It reminds me of the old days. The old days, you couldn't touch a car in front of you or they're going around. So, yeah, I like it, man. I love it. Bring more. I want it again.
Well, we do know, we explained to our audience that these cars that were released today is part of like one of the initial, if you're on iRacing, as part of your the stepping stones to get up through to the Xfinity and then on to Cup. So maybe this is a good experience, some good training for those drivers that are new to iRacing as they work their way through this car.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a double-edged sword though, because you can't go all out, but then you can't also not go all out, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think it's a great learning experience car. It's both ends, double-edged sword. So you see how it goes.
Well, Trevor, any shout outs tonight?
Oh yeah, man, I gotta give a shout out to the Jack Shack. Chris Walker up there, Devin Ray with me was up there. Evan Carlbon got involved in literally every single wreck. That's what he said, his quote, not mine. And I got to give a shout out to, man, Malik gave me a shot coming across the line. And that's all that did it. Because once Falkenham got my right rear, I knew it was going to be over. But, hey, here comes Malik. Just gave me a shot, and I won. So I got to thank him for that. Thank Jack Shack. Thank you guys for broadcasting, sticking through it, helping us learn these cars. We're going to definitely go back and watch and see, what else that we missed. And I got to thank Jimmy Crow. Man, Jimmy Crow. That's he's going to have a good time tonight, but got to thank him for this race, man. Appreciate y'all.
All right, you got it. All right, there's your winner tonight, Trevor. And Trevor, say your last name for me so I can get it right.
Trevor As We're Not. That's me.
As We're Not. You got it. All right. Thank you. Well, Noah, any thoughts tonight as we wrap up this broadcast?
Well, I think chaos is going to be the word for tonight, and just a super chaotic race for a lot of these cars, and a lot of drivers pulling it out at the end, and an exciting finish there. It turned out to be all worth it, but I think chaos is the best way to describe this race.
Yeah, absolutely. So we went through 7 cautions. Could have had an 8th caution there, but the race admin said, nope, we're going to finish this race. Just a great finish at the end as these guys raced towards that finish line. Just glad to be able to bring it to you. So we thank everybody who tuned in. We had a pretty good audience out there tonight on the IWM Broadcast Network. We appreciate those of you who stuck with it. And if you're watching this on replay, we thank you for doing so. If you get a chance to like and subscribe on our channel, we certainly would appreciate that. And we will see you, if you want, tomorrow night. Come on out for the Tech for Troops Cup Series. We'll be in Las Vegas. And then on Thursday nights in the iNASCAR Racing Series, we will also be in Vegas. So for Noah and myself, we thank you for tuning in, and we hope you have a great night. Good night, folks.